Don't. No review, just one suggestion. Don't watch it. Even don't think of the name. Ever. It's a sick movie. I Ain't No Virgin Spring. This film has to be seen in the context of when it was made in the history of film. Post-Vietnam War and the 70s grindhouse cinema. The reality and horrors of that war combined with cheaper equipment such as the 16mm Bolex camera gave great means to many to quickly pump out cheap films for high profit return. Horror did have a connection to the war, as Herschel Gordon Lewis hit pay dirt during the 60s when he mutilated women and cut up people for the camera to see, as a lot of the filmmakers from this generation were either Vietnam vets or college left-wing hippies who used the camera to show the horror of our human existence through pre-images of the internet era. Soldiers smiling on top of corpses or Vietnamese villagers running down the street naked with their arms missing. Now to the film The Last House on the Left, directed by university lecturer who looks like he wants to intellectualize a snuff film and produced by a porn director who wanted to make a quick buck. It says now to the film The Last House on the Left on the second to last sentence here. The rest of it is just a word salad of partial sentences about the history of gore cinema. Don't see this. You'll be damaged. Awful. Didn't last much past point 1. Violent without remorse. Predictable without restraint. Terrible beyond belief. Even my own first self-rejected and childish screenplay was better than this. I'm just gonna toss that in there. Women should be picketing this piece of trash. It's abusive and condescending. The writer and the director should be ashamed. The writer and director should be ashamed they spent the money this type trash. I think that's how you read it. Could very well be the best show on television. The Commish is hard-hitting, heartfelt, and brilliant ABC dramatic series found and home and met its end in the early 90s. The Commish and Matt Waters were canceled, while shows like Caroline in the City and Suddenly Susan continued. This world is anarchy. There's nothing more I can say as I pull back the tears. I love the Commish, and I wasn't the only one. We all did. It kept us going. Do not watch. The graphic images settle into your brain and will haunt you for the rest of your life. And I'm not normally a sensitive person. One of the worst horror movies of all time. This is awful. It has an awful storyline. The acting is awful. It's not scary. 4.5 is overrating. This is a 1. The ending is awful. If you want to see something scary, see King Kong, 1933. Do not see movie. King Kong 1976 is also very scary. This is not scary at all. There are better movies out there like Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. If you want to see something scary, see Son of Kong. I see people giving it a 3. I do not blame them. This could scare a 10-year-old child, but I would not give this a 3. 3 is overrating it. Do not waste your time and do not waste your money. Do not see this movie. You have been warned. This is one of the worst movies of all time. Save your money. Life is too short to see poo-poo. This guy really loves King Kong. I kind of can respect that. Like, the dude just really fucking loves King Kong. Spiral gives lie to the so-called bad apple theory of American policing. That pernicious, often fostered off concept posits that 98% or 99% of law enforcement personnel do more good than harm. However, Spiral proves that a typical US police precinct is akin to an unrefrigerated boxcar full of ripe apples left sweltering for a month on a siding in Atlanta's August heat. Under such conditions, it's highly unlikely that even one good apple will ever survive. Spiral suggests that all American police deserve to be sliced and diced, fried and filleted, cubed and stewed, shaken and stirred, or boiled and deboned. As viewers parade away from Spiral, they're bound to say, "Let's get cooking." A non-realistic movie. This was the most unrealistic movie I've ever seen. I can't believe the writer and director didn't see that almost all of the movies look like an SF one. I don't know what the SF, I think it's science fiction? Number 1, it is impossible for the killer to stay on cold glaze and after 10 hours get up so quickly. 2, you can't get electrocuted through a water pipe like in the movie. Believe me, it's my domain. 3, with a saw, you can cut 10 pipes in 10 hours very easily. Let's say the chain was made from steel, but the water pipe was rusty and it was made from iron. 4. If you try to cut your foot off with a saw, you faint. In the best case, it's more likely to die because your heart failed before to get to the bone, shin. And there are many more examples. Get ready for a nap. It looks like a fucking chorus of a funk song. Get ready for a nap. Slow. Did I mention slow? The music is the typical 70s, 80s horror music. So bad. Did I mention it was so bad? The dialogue is stilted, as one would imagine in the decade and genre. Cast was just okay. The age in the brothers was so wrong. He is 18, and his kid brother should have been at least 14, but he looked like he was 10. I guess if you're a boy looking for booby shots, there you go. If you want a fast-paced horror movie with thrills, no. I would like to see this movie remade in 2015. I think it would hold your interest much better. I love horror, but this is no. This is a great movie if you want to take a nap during the movie. No. And sad expression of emotional and mental illness. Despicable. Imagine people making bets of who can more savagely sexually violate your child, and you begin to get a sense of how shockingly sick is the premise, and the people responsible for conceiving this ridiculous crap. You understand how disturbing my analogy is, don't you? With no question mark. That there exist human beings in this world who have premeditated the production of this valueless, worthless bit of cultural excrement. There should be laws here, prohibiting this sort of careless, demented stupidity. But those laws would only make this sort of depraved, reckless behavior that much more appealing to its emotionally crippled, mentally malfunctioning fans. The first movie, in quotation marks, in this series should have triggered the SWAT team response to the producers' homes to liberate the abducted sex slaves in their basements. It's intense. That one's intense. The incredibly horrid celluloid schlock that'll make you want to stop living and suck out your soul. If there were only words in the English language to describe how luridly horrid this film really is, it features some of the worst acting ever. Has the reams of brain-numbing dialogue and dance numbers so badly done that they must have been choreographed by Satan himself. I would attempt to give you a plot outline, but I could never find anything that resembled a plot line. If there was one, it was some sort of post-psychotic Tarantino Hitchcock nightmare, but only in a horrible, mind-devouring way, as if Kafka had written it after 4 weeks of an acid trip, rot-gut moonshine drunk. If that were its only problem, it would have been bad enough. But the worst part is the absolutely pathetic special effects, set design, and costuming. All were absolutely lame to the max. If you love terribly, disgustingly awful films, this is one you have to see. Otherwise, avoid this film like a dose of the clap. This movie will make you wish you could stop living and become blind, deaf, or anything that'll allow you to never see anything resembling this film again. Yodner. Made for TV schlock. Bram Stoker helps a bunch of bimbos who are rats kick butt on all guys. Bram Stoker. No kidding. Adrienne Barbeau is the queen of the rat gals. Unwatchable. Never see this film. It'll disappoint you on all levels. I have never seen a worse attempt at anything in my life. Bloody murder is now the bottom by which I judge all things. I challenge the universe itself to create anything on par with the craptastic nature of this turd. There's never been a worse film made in all eternity. This is the very worst it can get. Anyone remotely involved in creating this endless black hole of tripe should be hunted down and executed slowly. Words simply cannot express the level of sheer insult this movie will leave on your very existence. Every last copy of Bloody Murder needs to be rounded up and thrown into the fires of Mount Doom. Only then will humanity have a chance. Yourself instead. If you have been teetering on the edge wondering if you should commit suicide or not, then watch Postal. There will be no doubt in your mind after watching this that you will be better off dead. To say that U-Ball is the worst director of all time is an insult to other worst directors out there. He actually appears as himself in the film, and how does he decide to treat himself? He gets shot in the crotch, where dozens of little children are massacred in an amusement park. This is supposed to be comedy. And what does this say about Airball's inner thoughts? about himself and the world. I think a psychiatrist would report him to the police. I had to wrestle my poor monkey away from the noose about halfway through this piece of excrement. Then my monkey urinated on the DVD, and we set it ablaze. This movie sucks and it is weird. I hate this movie, because the Loretta character blasphemed Jesus Christ. Thumbs down emoji, sad emoji, angry emoji. Fun to watch? Question mark, question mark, question mark. I'm a huge Vincent Price fan. I love most of his stuff. I've always said he was the most underrated actor of all time. When I read the reviews of this movie before watching, I kept reading, ... People say how fun this movie was to watch. I cannot believe I'm reading this stuff after trying to watch this movie. This was horrible. It was depressing, viciously violent, abuser of women. These poor actresses made to have their shirts torn off and showing their breasts seemed to be every woman on here. How does your mother and your father and sister and brother go to see you in these movies when your breasts are hanging out? It was ugly, depressing, dark, violent, ugly, torture. This is one of the few movies where I actually hated Vincent Price, his character. This is a very crappy, lousy movie. When Hollywood goes too far. This movie is a graphic and visually sickening display of a Hollywood film that crosses a boundary and goes where there is no artistic merit or any redeeming value to the film other than the appeal to the sickest minds who are interested and want to see something that is the ideal dream of a psychopath. That is one sentence. That is one whole sentence. Just one sentence was all that was needed. It was a lot. It was a big sentence. It was a very special sentence. It was a sentence that came with bonus words. It goes to the very bottom of a soulless human being with no creativity who has nothing to contribute to filmmaking and instead dishes up one heaping, smelling pile of refuse. This is something that is so sick and twisted, I think theater owners need to take a stand up to this kind of utter assault on America. It is a form of visual terrorism. Who needs anthrax? Jesus, who needs anthrax when you have films like this to poison the brains of its viewers? I'm mad at the graphic nature of this film, but I'm just gonna casually bring up anthrax. Did you know they made a Cyborg 2? Me neither. But they did. And was it better? Well, a house made out of rhinoceros feces is better than a house made out of human feces. So yes. Whoever invested in this movie, you got cheated out of your money. They tricked you. Seek revenge or legal recourse, whatever your style is. PC feminist monkey garbage. This was used to further the ridiculous notion that since it's a new year, this girl can show up all the men in these movies. Wait, why is men capitalized? Men with the capital M in the movie. Ridiculous. It's all been said. This is not about Star Wars. This is about using Star Wars fame to further along feminist pig propaganda. Since they didn't create it in the first place and want to try and take it over with unrealistic political views. Why is the main character a female acting like a male? Why? What the fuck is he talking about? Oh yeah, this is why this movie was bad. Sure. Why was the main character a female acting like a male? That seems to figure everything out faster than everyone else. I know it's a movie and complete weak garbage, but there are questions. How did she retain her feminine hygiene and keep her hair and makeup done, but still act like a man? What the fuck? Must have used those instant Jedi powers, huh? Just saying. And the female Yoda too? Give me a break! The 7th movie. And there's another one? And all of a sudden, it's a female too? Why weren't they there before? Horrible, pathetic, and beyond repair. Really? Han Solo, the greatest character, died like a feminine little wuss? A little girl can fly and repair his ship, yet Chewie just goes along when he finally reappears? What the big push is to make these girls appear so masculine is beyond me. I can only assume that we will discover that she was being controlled somehow. And if not, this crap is definitely dead. But why a girl? What the This movie sucks. This movie sucks, I hate it. Also, my friend Ishmael hated it too.